guests, Nadine Cid, President and CEO of Beyond Your Concept Events, and Mark Wahl, Strategic Communications Specialist with the United States Postal Service. Welcome, both of you all, to Let's Talk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Yeah, I am really, a big fan of baseball, and we've got some great things coming up involving the Negro League Legends Hall of Fame event. So, which the Washington Informer is a proud sponsor. So let's start with you, Mark. Tell us about the Negro League stamp first that was recently unveiled, and how stamp enthusiasts can collect a stamp.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're excited. July 31st, we unveiled the first day of issue Hank Aaron stamp at Truist Park in Atlanta. That was July 31st. That went out. We, for more than a century, the Postal Service, we've honored Americans and their achievement on U.S. stamps. We've done sports heroes. We've done scientists. We do civil rights advocates. But the athletes are remembered not only for what they accomplished in the respective sports, but how they went about doing so. So Henry Aaron's 50th anniversary, breaking Babe Ruth's all-time home run record, is this year. And with that said, Dwayne Sims, who's the founder of the Negro Leagues Legends Hall of Fame, contacted me and said, "Hey, we got to do this special event." And I was a baseball fan. I was like, I jumped right on board. June 5th, he called me. And I said, what do you want done? So with that, we have a special unveiling. It's not the first day of issue, but it's a special stamp dedication. We'll be unveiling the Henry Aaron stamp there. We also have a special pictorial cancellation exclusive only to the Bowie Post Office that'll be available for what you call philatelists, the stamp collectors. That'll be available for 30 days after the event. And of course, we're going to be selling this Henry Aaron stamps at the event next Saturday, August 17th as well.
Well, I'm so glad because I did mention that earlier. What is that word you call stamp collectors? And it's philatelist.
That's correct.
So glad to hear that. And so Nadine, you're with the Park and Planning Office with Prince George's County. Tell us about the event that's going to take place that Mark is referencing.
So I'm working closely with Dwayne Sims, who's the founder. And this year's vintage baseball game is historical because it's in part of the salutation for the 91st anniversary of this type of game. And so we're looking forward to having lots of attendees this year coming out and celebrating. We'll, again, as Mark just said, we're going to have the Hank Aaron stamp cancellation. People will be able to purchase that for those collectors out there. But the game itself was started in 1933 by Gus Greenlee. And so Dwayne has this vision, and he's continued to keep it going by hosting this vintage game annually. And Maryland National Parks and Planning Commission is a big supporter, as well as yourselves, the Washington Informer, Lafayette Credit Union, and I believe there is another one I just wanted to mention, and the USPS of Bowie. So Mark, who's represented by Mark right now. But we're going to have players that represent diversity, right? And so we're going to have players, white, Hispanics, Cubans, Dominicans. I mean, people who played for the love of the game since the early 1900s.
Like people that just sort of said, I want to play. These are actual real baseball players who maybe not made it to the major leagues.
Right.
And, for us, Negro leagues were major leagues for us, but, but they're actually players, real players.
Yeah, so they're coming from tri-state leagues, they're coming from colleges, they're coming from high schools from the 2023, 24 seasons, and they'll be dressed in vintage attire. Just to, part of the theme, right? It's a vintage East-West game. And so it's funny because some of the older players, they come out there and they're ready to go. And, the younger players are like, yeah, whatever. But they have really shown themselves. So it's been fun to watch as well.
So I haven't had a chance to attend, and I wonder how are the teams split up? I mean, because it's when you talk about all these great folks that are coming out representing all these vintage teams, how do you decide what team you want to, root for?
Well, That's on the players. I guess you can go by
I
whoever's
guess so.
losing at halftime,
Okay.
right?
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Halftime.
Yeah, but the teams are split up. It's just random. It's not any particular, way.
Okay. All
It's
right. And there's
random.
really no winner or loser here. This is
Not really. Even though there is a
right.
score, there is a
Okay.
score, but there's not
Right.
really a winner or loser. It's all in fun.
So Mark, quick question, because you use the word cancellation as it relates to stamps. Explain what that means.
Yeah, the cancellation it's a special pictorial. So, of course, we put stamps on envelopes and packages. So to finalize or to cancel those so that they're not can be reused, we also have special cancellations for specific events. It may be the first day of issue. It may be an anniversary of the Washington Informer that we can do a special cancellation on. So depending on the event, we do at the local post office as well.
And in addition, I mean, folks, hopefully everybody will be at the event so that they can get this Hank Aaron stamp. But otherwise, is the stamp currently available at the post office?
Yes, it is. So July 31st was our first day of issue. So it's on sale at all post offices around the country. What's unique about this event is that we're actually selling the stamp. We have a satellite post office there, which takes special cancellations. But yeah, it's going to be a fun event. So I'm honored to represent the Postal Service. I've been with them 38 years, but now I have to dawn on my baseball because I've been a baseball fan for more than 6 decades. So the connection Dwayne and I have is I'm originally from Pittsburgh. So Gus Greenlee is from Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Crawfords, the Homestead Grays, that's all part of the Negro history. I grew up around that. So to me, this is a special event, and we have some higher forces that got Dwayne and I together. We talk about it all the time.
It sounds like it. Now, I mean, that educating people about the African American baseball players and their achievements is not necessarily information that we can find everywhere. So, what's happening to make sure that the Hall of Fame actually shares that information? How does it get out? What are you doing to promote? What are you all doing? I don't know if Nadine, if you're part of it, or Mark. To make sure that folks understand the role that African Americans played in baseball.
So Dwayne has the website www.nllhof.org.
Okay.
It has a lot of information. He has books, and so it's just important. And even throughout the game, there are always interesting facts that are learned for the attendees about the Negro League and some of the players and who was first at this and that, and women in the league as well. So there's a lot of information out there, and Dwayne is a good source for that through his organization.
Wonderful. And, there are, I guess we're also trying to figure out how, let me ask this question, the biggest one that folks always ask. Why is it important to continue to celebrate the Negro Leagues? I mean, we do a lot, but why is it important to continue to celebrate the leagues? Mark?
It's part of history.
Go ahead, Nadine.
I'm sorry. It's part of history. And so you can't continue and building and exposing if you don't have history. Right? So
right.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they've integrated the statistics from the Negroes leagues to the Major League Baseball. That was huge. I just have to throw my own personal story.
Right.
Yes, that's correct. So growing up in Pittsburgh, I do remember April 8th, 1974. That's when Henry Aaron broke the record. I was 12 years old. I was living in the suburb of Pittsburgh, and I watched it on TV. My sister, who was older than bigger than me, had the TV downstairs in the living room. I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I remember watching that event. So it's very special to me. Also, September 2nd, 1972 was the first time that there was an all Negro, all Latin American team fielded in the history of baseball, and that was the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Danny Murtaugh, the manager at the time, said, why no one thought about it until the third inning. They said, wow, there's history being made here. And the manager after was interviewed. He said, I put my 9 best players on the field at the time. I had no other issues in making decisions. So growing up in that area, in the Pittsburgh area, I'm very blessed. I'm honored to be part of this event. So I couldn't thank Dwayne enough for including us, especially with the Hank Aaron stamp. It's very special.
Yeah, it all seems to come together. Go ahead, Nadine.
And I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say, and just to kind of further expand on Dwayne's passion about this, tickets are free. This is
I was just going to ask you
it's
about
a
that.
volunteer organization, and he does this every year and gives away tickets. So anyone can come. No one has to worry about costs or anything like that. So we just really encourage people to take advantage of this historical moment and these types of activities.
So tell us again, Nadine, where the event will take place.
The event is going to take place at the Prince George's Stadium, also known as the Bowie Bay Sox Stadium in Largo, Maryland, Bowie, Maryland, I'm sorry. And so Saturday, August 17th, gates open at 12. The stamp cancellation event starts at 10. Now, the weather has been such that if by chance there is inclement weather and we're unable to host the game, then there is a rain date that is September the 1st. Tickets will
Okay.
still be honored for September the 1st if that is the case. We're just asking people to check the website. As I mentioned, www.nllhof.org for any cancellation or rescheduling information about the game itself. And that they can check as early as Wednesday of next week.
Wonderful. And so do you have to order a ticket online first, or can you just show up?
Just to have the ticket, yes, you can. But again, it's really, if you show up, you'll be okay.
Wonderful.
We're not turning anyone away. We want as many people to come out and be supportive. And again, it's a historical, game this year. So we appreciate all attendees and all support.
So is there, I mean, not that this isn't enough, because it is, but is there anything else that's going to happen that day as well?
Well,
I noticed I saw cars on the flyer there. What else is going
absolutely.
on?
We're going to have the auto show, which is going to have anything you have, you name, vintage, classic. We're going to have it out there. The slingshots. We're going to have motorcycles. We're going to have vets. We're going to have classic cars. We're going to have trucks. I mean, people bring out what they bring out. And if anyone's interested, there's going to be a contest. And I believe it's $25 to enter if you want to be judged. But if you don't, that's fine. You can still participate. And so we're just looking to a great day with everyone participating.
And again, I mean, kids love baseball, but is there anything that's set aside for like children?
Not necessarily set aside for children, but I
Okay.
mean, we'll be able to, we include youth when we're doing some of the opening acts and ceremonies and stuff like that. But for the most part, we just want them to come and enjoy and have a good time. Eat a hot dog.
I will add, Denise, that when we do the special unveiling of the stamp, that Dwayne has all the youth that are attending, they will be doing the unveiling themselves. So they're going to be included in the
Oh,
unveiling. And I believe you talked about the history. I believe Dwayne said he was recognized as having the most extensive
Yes,
history and memorabilia of any Negro League information. So
that is true.
will that be on display?
He has a backdrop where people can
Okay.
come and take pictures and stuff like that. So yes.
Okay. All right. No, this is amazing. This is fantastic. I mean, to get the stamp, to see a game, to learn about the history of the Negro Leagues, of the auto show. You've got a special guest. You want to mention who that is? The special guest that will be participating. I saw that on the flyer as well. Was it Chappie with the gosh? I saw it on the flyer. Sorry about that.
Levi Chappie
Levi
Drew.
Chappie, right?
Yes.
With the Indianapolis Clowns.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And so a special salute to him. So that'll be exciting as well. So I am really thrilled with this event that's about to come up in a couple of weeks. And I look forward to being there and inviting folks to join all of us again on, let's do the date. It's Saturday.
August
Go ahead.
17th at the Prince George's Stadium, also known as the Bowie Bay Sox Stadium. So gates open at 12. However, if there by chance is a reason for us to reschedule, the stamp cancellation will still occur. That's a big media event that will still happen. And people will still be able to come in and purchase stamps between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. on that day.
Mark, before we go, because that's one of the questions, sometimes there's this conspiracy theory out there that, when it comes to African-American stamps, they're only available for a certain period of time and then you can't find them anymore. And it's like a deliberate kind of thing. I think you can explain the process, how that happens. You come up with a special stamp, the cancellation, and they're available. But they're not, even though it's a forever stamp, the stamp is not forever available. So explain that to our audience before we go.
Absolutely. Well, all our stamps are on sale. If you go to www.usps.com/postal store, they'll have all the stamps that we currently have on sale. However, local post offices, it's up to them to order the stamp. So you might go to a local office and they might be out of that stamp. So it's incumbent upon that manager, that retail delivery, to keep those stamps in stock. But no, they're available once, they're forever. Although there are so many that are created, like for the Henry Aaron, I think there's 30 million that was put into circulation. So hopefully we'd like to sell all of those stamps because that's revenue. But more importantly, every stamp tells a story. And I always tell people, if you're writing a message to somebody, finish it with a stamp story, because there's stamps to align to every story, every card, every greeting, any celebration that we have. So just visit our website, USPS.com.
And lastly, when we say forever stamps, what does that mean?
Forever means for whenever it was purchased, it was that first class denomination. So if you buy it at 73 cents today, if it goes up to $1.50 in a year, 2 or 3 or whatever, that stamp is good forever for the first class postage. So
wonderful. I hate to say I can still remember 2-cent stamps, but anyway, moving on. This is fantastic. Again, I want to thank both of you all for joining us. Tell Dwayne we missed him, but I think you all represented him well. I look forward to seeing you all next weekend.
Yes.
And I hope the community will be out to share. We'll be covering that as well. So, but this is one of those places where you want to be. And right. So
come on
thanks
out.
for joining us. Exactly. All righty.
Thank you.
You all have a great one. Thanks for joining us.
All righty.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.